Global warming has been a hot topic of recent years, but is it real?
Oh, that's a tricky question.
Yes, I do believe in global warming, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You can see it everywhere.
Yeah, I'm from Indonesia. It is very hot and it's getting hotter every year. So I feel it firsthand.
Not a green freak, but obviously I believe that the way that things are going at the moment, it's not very sustainable and something needs to be done about it. It's sort of been imploded by the media and stuff to make it seem a lot worse than it is, but I think it's just a natural course of events, really.
No. I watched a lot of conspiracy theories for and against climate change, and I've made up my mind that I don't believe in it. I mean, I know the climate is changing, so it is true, but at the same time, I think the government and the media feeds us with a lot of scaremongering.
For us to have thought that there was a constant environment where set seasons would listen to our rules that we've put summer in this time period, so you're going to stay like that forever, is atrociously misled, and that it's not something that we should be as fearful of or something that we should feel as responsible for as the media tries to portray.
It shouldn't even be a question, to be perfectly honest. In fact, research finds that 98% of academics who are actually actively publishing within the area of climate change agree on it. So it's only actually through media and stigma and stereotyping and just general believing whatever the press says that we even have the debate on whether or not climate change is a thing. It's happening, people. Sort it out.
Climate change is brought about by the accumulation of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, which is being accelerated by human activities such as transportation, electricity production and agriculture. But what do students think is the most responsible for climate change?
I
think
don't know.
food.
Well, agriculture's massive. That's one of the main things. It's quite interesting that everyone assumes. I don't know. I came from a family that eat meat, and everyone seems to think you need to eat meat with every meal, if not once a day. It's not sustainable. Regardless of your ethical views on a cow, I quite like cows, but I do eat them every now and then.
Obviously, all of the industries are responsible in their own little way, and every single one could definitely do something to be a bit more sustainable.
I think everything really ties in here. I think everything that's man-influenced has an impact.
Humans are the main cause. Just the way we're changing the land, the way we're burning fossil fuels, just generally the way in which we go about pooling resources from the earth.
All the pollution and stuff, there are so many people driving cars, and I'm a complete hypocrite here because I don't have a car.
Increased fuel consumption, cars,
carbon emissions,
government.
the government.
Government, yeah, it's where they make the rules, they make the laws. If they're letting companies and businesses throw stuff into the sea, pollute the environment, and if there's more policing on that and more control, that wouldn't be happening.
If we work in a system that relies on increasing consumption rates each year, GDP increase.
The government that's in place at the moment, and I'm sure the government that will be in place for the next 100 years won't do anything about it because they all care about making money and not actually protecting the environment.
You can't really blame it on one set of people, but if anything, it's that top 1% who own about 50% of the world's wealth that I would blame on.
I think it's mass consumerism because we rely on it in the entire globe, from the producing countries to the consuming countries to the waste that we produce to the transporting of it all.
We've never been sort of rationed the way that things were before, so we expect to have fruit from Spain and meat that comes from Argentina.
I think it's the average Briton consumes 3,400 of litres of water a day, and that's embedded in the products that they buy and use. The water, the electricity that just gets used to transfer something from halfway across the world, it's just not sustainable. We need to localise produce.
What do you think? Familiarise yourself with the party's policies on environment by clicking on the politicians. Tell us who you agree with. Don't forget to register for the general election in May by clicking here. Let your voice be heard.